Hey there, truth seekers. You know how everybody these days is always chasing the truth? Well, what if I told you that instead of searching for it out in the world, like we're all doing, it's already inside you?
Yeah, it's a fascinating idea, isn't it? And that's actually that's what we're diving into today with excerpts from Truth, an Atlantean Brotherhood perspective.
Oh, okay.
Now, before you think we're going full on ancient mysteries here,
Right.
it's not really about Atlantis. Just think of it as a framework, using that imagery to explore a deeper idea, what truth really is and how we approach it. It might be completely backwards.
Okay, I'm intrigued already. But how can we have the truth inside us if we're always like out there looking for it?
Well, that's the paradox, right?
Wow.
The source material explains it like this. Truth itself is unchanging, like a mountain. It's simply is. But our understanding of it, that's what's constantly evolving. And just like different people see that same mountain in different ways, a hiker sees a challenge, a geologist sees rock formations, an artist sees inspiration.
Right.
Our individual perceptions, they shape how we actually experience truth.
So you're saying that we might be mistaking our own viewpoint, our limited viewpoint for the whole truth.
Exactly. Our minds are like filters, right?
Right.
And those filters are shaped by our experiences, our beliefs, all the things we've picked up along the way.
Yeah.
And this ties into a powerful idea from the Emerald Tablet. As above, so below. What's going on inside of us, our inner world, reflects how we perceive the outside world.
So to understand truth better, we need to kind of look within and understand ourselves better.
Now you're getting it. And the source material, it doesn't hold back. It boldly claims that truth isn't hidden. You're just not looking. They even quote these Atlantean sages saying, truth is never hidden from those who have eyes. It's like a wake-up call.
Yeah, it's definitely making me rethink how much time I spend scrolling through my phone
Yeah.
instead of, actually looking inward. But honestly, it's easy to get distracted by, all the noise and all the stuff that's going on in the world today.
Absolutely. And the text suggests that instead of simplifying things, we tend to overcomplicate them. We look externally for answers, for validation, when the truth has been inside of us the whole time.
It's like we're constantly searching for something that's already there.
Yeah.
The source material uses some powerful analogies to illustrate this point, comparing truth to water for a fish or air for us humans. We don't have to go searching for these things. They're essential to our very existence.
Yeah.
And they're saying truth is just as fundamental.
Right. Think about it. You don't consciously search for your next breath.
Right.
It's just there, effortlessly supporting you. The source points out that truth is similar. It's not something you have to struggle to find. And they even connect this idea to teachings from various spiritual traditions. Jesus talked about the kingdom of heaven being within, and Rumi, the Sufi mystic, he beautifully describes how the entire ocean is present in a single drop of water.
Yeah.
It's all pointing to that same idea. What we seek is already a part of us.
Okay. So I'm starting to understand that searching for truth externally, might be sending us on a wild goose chase.
Mhm.
But then the source drops this bombshell. The radical revelation. Truth is right here, not in a guru's promise.
So are they saying all those workshops and retreats are a waste of time?
Not necessarily, but they are raising a crucial point about the spiritual marketplace
Okay.
and how it can sometimes, lead us astray.
Right.
We've all seen it, right?
Yeah.
Self-help gurus, expensive retreats, the books that promise to unlock all the secrets of the universe.
Right.
It can make truth feel like a commodity, like something you have to earn or buy.
So instead of chasing those external promises, they're saying truth is already present. But where? That's the beauty of it. They say it's right here in this
Yeah.
very moment. It's the ground beneath your feet, the breath you take, the silence between thoughts. It's not something you achieve, it's something you recognize.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. My mind is starting to bend a little.
Yeah.
But they don't stop there, do they? They go on to say, the ultimate taboo, what you seek is who you are. Now, this is where I need you to break it down for me.
Well, what if everything you've been searching for externally, happiness, fulfillment, meaning,
Yeah.
what if it's actually found in the depths of your own being?
So all this time, we've been looking outside of ourselves when the truth has been within us all along.
That's the radical proposition that this source puts forward, challenging this idea that our true selves are something we achieve through effort or external validation. They're suggesting that our true selves are already here, beneath all the layers of, societal conditioning, self-doubt, and limiting beliefs.
It's like we've been tricked into believing we're flawed and we need fixing, when in reality we're already
We're whole and complete.
Exactly. And the source brings in some powerful quotes to support this idea. They mention tat tvam asi, a phrase from Advaita Vedanta, which translates to, you are that.
Right.
And of course, there's Socrates' famous, know thyself. These aren't just catchy sayings. They point to a profound truth about our nature.
Exactly. And to understand these ideas more fully, let's unpack what they really mean. Tattvamasi, it's all about recognizing the interconnectedness of everything. It's saying that your true essence, your pure consciousness, isn't separate from the universal consciousness, that thing that animates the entire universe.
So to know yourself is to know the universe.
Precisely. And to know the universe is to know yourself. It's about shattering that illusion of separation and recognizing the profound unity that binds us all.
Okay, I'm officially mind blown, but how do we even begin to grasp this?
Well, the source calls it the invitation. Stop searching, start seeing. It's about shifting our perspective, shifting it from one of seeking to one of recognizing what already is. But before we explore that further, let's take a moment to let all of this sink in.
Yes, a pause is definitely needed. We've covered a lot of ground already. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll delve even deeper into what it means to stop searching and start seeing the truth that's right in front of us.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you've had a chance to kind of process those powerful ideas about truth being within us all along.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm still feeling a bit mind-boggled. It's one thing to say that we already have truth, but it's another thing to actually experience it, right?
Absolutely. It's a profound shift in perspective and one that challenges a lot of our ingrained beliefs about spirituality and self-discovery.
Like the whole idea that we need to search for enlightenment or follow a certain path or even buy that new self-help book that promises you all the answers.
Exactly. The Atlantean Brotherhood perspective seems to be suggesting that it's not about acquiring knowledge or achieving some, special state of being.
Right.
It's more about recognizing something that's already there.
Yeah. So instead of chasing after those external truths, truth is actually we need to look inside. But if it's that simple, why does it feel so elusive? Why do we struggle with, self-doubt and confusion and a sense of separation if truth is our very essence?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think the source material offers some clues when it talks about the lies we've been told about ourselves.
Yeah. You mean like those messages that tell us, we're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough?
Yeah.
We need to constantly try to be better, do more, have more.
Yes. Those beliefs, whether they come from societal pressures, cultural norms, or even our own inner critic, they can create a sense of separation between us and the truth of our being.
It's like we're constantly trying to fill a void that doesn't even exist. We chase after external validation and achievements, possessions, thinking that's going to, bring us happiness when really all along the source of true fulfillment lies within.
And this is where the idea of the spiritual marketplace becomes particularly relevant. Think about all the self-help books and the workshops and the retreats that promise to unlock the secrets of happiness and fulfillment.
Right.
They can unintentionally reinforce this idea that we need something outside of ourselves to be whole.
So are they saying that all those things are bad or misleading?
Not necessarily, but I think it's important to be aware of the potential pitfalls,
Yeah.
The key is to remember that true transformation comes from within, not from some, external quick fix.
Right.
As the source material reminds us, truth is not a product to be consumed. It's the very essence of who we are.
Yeah. Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together.
Right.
But if we're not supposed to chase after those, external promises, how do we actually connect with this inner truth? How do we break free from the cycle of seeking and striving?
Well, remember the invitation from the source material. Stop searching, start seeing.
Right, but how do we actually do that? It sounds great in theory, but in practice it feels like a whole other ballgame.
It's true. It's not a switch we can just, flip on and off.
Right.
It's a process of cultivating awareness, both internally and externally.
So internally, you mean it's about becoming more aware of our thoughts, beliefs, and how they shape our reality.
Exactly. Practices like mindfulness and meditation can be incredibly helpful in this regard. They help us to create space between our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to observe them without judgment.
And externally, it's about paying attention to the messages we're receiving from the world around us.
Precisely. We're bombarded with messages constantly from advertising, social media, the news, even our own families and communities.
Right.
These messages shape our perceptions, often without us even realizing it.
So it's about becoming more conscious of those messages and how they might be influencing our beliefs about ourselves and the world.
Yes. It's about questioning those messages, especially if they reinforce feelings of, lack, inadequacy, or separation.
This all sounds like a lot of work. But is there a starting point for someone who's feeling kind of overwhelmed by all this?
I think the first step is simply to become more aware of your internal dialogue. What are the stories that you're telling yourself? What are the beliefs that are driving your actions and
And
choices?
once we're aware of those beliefs, what do we do with them?
That's where the real work begins. We need to ask ourselves, are these beliefs serving me? Are they aligned with the truth that I'm sensing deep down? And if not, we can start to challenge them, question their validity, and ultimately to choose new beliefs that are more empowering and liberating.
It sounds like a process of shedding old layers, kind of like peeling back an onion to reveal the true essence within.
That's a great analogy. And remember, it's an ongoing journey, not a destination. There's no end point to this process of self-discovery. It's about constantly evolving, growing, and becoming more aligned with our authentic selves.
Okay, so we're starting to see how this Atlantean Brotherhood perspective, can actually be applied to our lives. But how does it impact our relationships with others? If we're all connected at a deeper level, shouldn't that change how we interact with each other?
Absolutely. Recognizing the truth of our interconnectedness can have a profound impact on our relationships.
Okay.
It can shift us from a place of judgment and separation to a place of compassion and understanding.
So instead of seeing others as separate from ourselves, we start to see them as like reflections of our own being.
Exactly. And when we approach others from that place of unity, our interactions become more authentic, more compassionate, and more fulfilling. We're no longer trying to get something from them to fill a void within ourselves. Instead, we're simply connecting with another expression of the same divine essence that animates us all.
Wow, this is really making me rethink my whole approach to relationships. But what about practical matters like work and career? How does this idea of, inner truth apply to those areas of life?
That's a great question. Imagine approaching your work, not from a place of needing to prove yourself or achieve external validation,
Right.
but from a place of expressing your unique gifts and contributing to something larger than yourself.
So instead of focusing on what we can get from our work, we shift our focus to what we can give.
Precisely. And that shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. It allows us to find true fulfillment and purpose in our work, regardless of our job title or salary.
This is all starting to make so much sense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a lot to take in. I'm wondering, is there anything in the source material that can help us bridge the gap
Mhm.
between, understanding these concepts intellectually and actually embodying them in our daily lives?
Well, remember that line that left us hanging earlier? When humanity stops seeking, they will remember.
Yes. What is it that we're supposed to remember?
Well, if we consider everything we've discussed so far, the idea that truth is within us, that we are already whole and complete, perhaps what we remember is our own innate divinity, our connection to something greater than ourselves.
It's like a homecoming, a remembering of who we truly are beneath all the layers of conditioning and self-doubt.
Exactly. And when we live from that place of remembrance, our actions, our choices, even our perceptions of the world, they start to shift.
It's like we're tuning into a different frequency, a higher vibration that allows us to experience life with greater clarity, purpose, and joy.
That's beautifully put. And that shift in vibration can have a ripple effect, not just in our own lives, but in the world around us.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired.
Yeah.
But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, let's pause here and give our listeners a moment to kind of absorb everything we've covered so far. When we come back, we'll explore the practical implications of this Atlantean Brotherhood perspective and how we can start embodying these principles in our everyday lives. Okay, so we're back and, ready to kind of dive into the practical side of things. We've been unpacking this idea that truth isn't something you go find out there, but something we already are.
Right.
But how do we actually live from that, that place of inner knowing? How does this Atlantean Brotherhood perspective, how does that actually translate into real world changes?
Yeah, it's a great question, and one that I'm sure a lot of our listeners are probably thinking about.
Yeah.
It's one thing to grasp these concepts intellectually, but it's another thing to actually integrate them into our daily lives.
Right.
The source material does drop some hints about where we can begin.
I remember that line, that really piqued my curiosity. When humanity stops seeking, they will remember It's like a cliffhanger. Remember what exactly?
Well, let's consider everything we've explored so far.
Right.
The text suggests that truth isn't hidden, but it's deeply ingrained within us.
Right.
It's not a destination that we reach, but an inherent aspect of our being. So perhaps what we remember when we stop that frantic search is our own inherent wholeness, that connection to something far greater than our individual selves.
So it's not about remembering a fact or a piece of knowledge.
Right.
It's more like remembering our true nature.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm not just this limited, flawed person. I'm part of this vast, interconnected.
Exactly. It's a remembering of our innate connection to the universe, to the
Yeah.
very source of creation. And when we live from that place of remembrance, our actions, our choices, even our perceptions of the world begin to shift. We start to see things differently.
Okay, so now we're talking about the practical implications.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not always operating from a place of lack or insecurity or, always striving for something outside of myself, my motivations change.
Right.
My relationships change. My whole approach to life transforms.
Exactly. Imagine approaching your work, for example, not from a place of needing to prove yourself or gain approval,
Yeah.
but from a place of expressing your unique gifts and talents, contributing to something meaningful.
Or imagine interacting with others not from a place of ego or judgment, but from a place of like recognizing their inherent worth and, shared humanity.
Right.
We're all in this together after all.
That's beautifully put. And think about how conflicts might be transformed if we approach them not as battles to be won,
Right.
but as opportunities for understanding and growth. Even in disagreement, we can still acknowledge the underlying connection that we share.
This is really mind-expanding stuff. It seems like this whole new way of being in the world just kind of opens up when we let go of the need to search and just allow ourselves to see what's already there.
Yeah. That's the invitation, isn't it? To stop chasing after that external validation
Yeah.
and start tuning into the truth that resonates within.
Right.
It's a journey of self-discovery, but not in the traditional sense of acquiring knowledge or skills,
Right.
It's about peeling back those layers of conditioning and recognizing the truth that has always been there.
So it sounds like the Atlantean Brotherhood isn't about joining a group or adopting a set of beliefs.
Right.
It's more about starting a revolution of awareness within ourselves.
Exactly. And that's a revolution that we can all participate in, regardless of our background or beliefs.
Yeah.
It starts with a willingness to question, to challenge, to see beyond the surface and dive deep into the heart of who we truly are.
So for our listeners who are feeling inspired, maybe a little overwhelmed, what's a good first step? How do we actually start this revolution of awareness in our own lives?
Well, the source material, they keep emphasizing the importance of stopping the search and starting to see.
Right.
So maybe the first step is to simply pause. Take a breath. Become aware of the thoughts and the beliefs that are driving your actions and choices.
And maybe start to trace those beliefs back to their origins.
Yeah.
Are they based on your own direct experience?
Huh.
Or are they echoes of messages you've received
Yeah.
from other people, society, the culture you grew up in?
That's a powerful practice. And as you become more aware of your internal landscape, pay attention to the external influences that are shaping your perceptions.
Right.
What messages are you bombarded with on a daily basis?
Right.
How do those messages make you feel? Do they resonate with the truth that you're starting to sense within yourself?
Asking those questions, that can be a powerful step
Yeah.
towards, reclaiming our own inner authority.
Absolutely. And remember, this isn't about finding all the answers or achieving some perfect state of enlightenment,
Right.
It's an ongoing process of discovery, a lifelong adventure of peeling back the layers and uncovering the depths of who you truly are.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Atlantean Brotherhood perspective, it seems like we've uncovered a whole new way of thinking about truth. It's not something we find out there, but something that we are. And the journey isn't about searching externally, but about, turning inward and remembering the truth that already resides within us.
Beautifully summarized. And as you embark on this journey of self-discovery, remember, you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, connected by that same spark of truth that animates the entire universe.
What a beautiful thought to leave our listeners with. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the nature of truth. We hope you'll join us next time as we explore another fascinating facet of the human experience. Until then, keep seeking, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep remembering the truth that lies within you.